Hello, my name is Drew Moore. This is assignment 7.1 for EDU528. You're supposed to put together a financial plan. And so the financial plan that I decided to go with was the combination budget, combining taxes and booster club and fundraising and all that. And first thing I want to start with, I'm not going to go over every single item on here, but I think the thing that sticks out the most is football. Being that it's so expensive to put together a football team, obviously you're not able to get everything you want all at the same time. But I did feel like it was important enough to get some of these things, even if didn't get to replace as much as I wanted. In the adjusted price column in the red, you'll see what I would consider booster club chipping in for football, especially the booster club budget is going to be much larger if I take into account how many football players we have at our school currently. It's close to 200, probably more than 200. And so if you charge to play, I believe they make the kids pay $100. That leaves quite a bit of money to play around with. So even though I got a pretty large adjusted price for them, except the $24,000 that was decided that we'll use the uniforms from last year. But 3,712, 600, that is easily covered by what the booster club has in the budget. And you have a ton more money left over. I did feel it was important to update some of the helmets and shoulder pads, especially now with everything going on with concussions and injuries. And I did feel like it was important that we replace at least some of them and have it in a rotation so that the kids aren't using outdated equipment. So as you can see, I only replaced 25 helmets and 25 shoulder pads. Assuming I have about 150 kids at a bigger school, I did replace about half the thigh and hip set. So that leaves the biggest chunk taken out of our total budget, $68,000, about $11,000. But again, I just felt like it was very important that we continually update as much as possible. And I think getting a lot of help from the booster club and the pay to play really helps us being able to do that. If we go up here to the top, I want to point out boys basketball and also girls basketball down here. I wanted to keep those budgets pretty similar, so it's equitable. They both spent, right around the same money as a booster club. You can see that it went to different things. So we have the shooting top. That was a booster club purchase. I've seen in the past that kids are even made to buy those. This practice jersey with the adjusted price of $1,125. It was an off year to buy practice jerseys because we are buying new uniforms. So generally, uniforms will go about 3 years or so, and then practice jerseys, you kind of rotate in between those years when necessary. In fact, sometimes practice jerseys will take precedent. I know in our case at my school right now, it is a year to get new jerseys, but our jerseys are fine, and our practice jerseys have not lasted as long as we would have liked. So you have to make those adjustments on the fly. Same with girls. They did get new jerseys, Nikes. We also got a shooting gun, which I think is super important. That was paid, half of it was paid by the booster club. So again, pretty similar booster club numbers there. And obviously, basketballs are important. I think you need to purchase new ones every year. And so that can come out of the budget. For wrestling, your basic stuff, new headgear, singlets, whatever. Booster Club did not chip in on any of this because their budget was reasonable. It wasn't necessary, so they'll keep that stashed away for another time if they need new uniforms down the road, or if they need to replace a uniform, or whatever the case may be. Maybe they need to buy brand new mats, so on and so forth. So with that being a lower total, I did not have the Booster Club chipping in on any of that because that is pretty acceptable number for the just coming out of the activities budget. And then same thing with volleyball, pretty low number compared to the others. Softball being even lower, but again, these are all necessary items. Again, putting money away in the Booster Club, maybe you need a new net at some point. Just emergencies happen, so getting it done quickly. But home and away jerseys, again, volleyballs are important, and so on. And then we have softball. Softball asks for a lot, but I felt like all the wish list items were actually very reasonable and not really all that expensive. It also helps, again, at least at my school, lining chalk, mound clay, diamond dry. Rationale, I cut those because it's a maintenance job. I don't think that's something that should come out of their budget per se. So the maintenance team will take care of most of that. But again, all necessities. Obviously, you need a lot of balls for different situations. Lineup card booklet, scorebook, all the normal things that you use almost daily. If you look at the beginning budget, it was $68,000 for the 6 sports. It only cost $32,000. Obviously, there's more sports than that, so it gives us plenty of room to handle baseball and track and cross country and tennis and all those things. So that would be put aside for all those sports that were not listed in the 6. If we go to officials, I did varsity only to get an idea. Football, they all play pretty close to the same amount of home games. Obviously, the officials are different. Let's say wrestling had 2 mats going, so I counted for that. But that puts us at a total cost of $11,292. If you account for the lower levels, the officials are not being paid as much. You generally, I know I can speak for football and basketball, there's not as many officials, so it's going to be a considerably lower number. So again, with the $32,000 officials budget, we're going to be well within that range. I hope I covered everything. Appreciate you listening, and see you later.